Good evening, St. Lucia, and welcome to Newsmaker Live for today, Wednesday, February 8th, 2012. My name is Clinton Reynolds, and this month, as I said last week, we're going through a series of nationalistic programs. We're focusing this month on our independence. And what better way to do so than through Project Breakaway and the St. Lucia Cycling Association. Our very special guest this evening, Ernest Otley, the coordinator of Project Breakaway. He's joined by the treasurer of the St. Lucia Cycling Association, Leslie Serrier, and it is truly a pleasure to have you guys. We're talking about independence and, you know, getting on a bike and just feeling that wind blowing through your face. Yep. You know, the women, wind blowing through their hair.
That's right.
Freedom, independence, yes?
That's it.
But there are so many aspects of that we want to touch on this evening. So thank you very much for agreeing to be our guest this evening on Newsmaker Live.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure. Thank you for having us.
It is my pleasure. It is my pleasure. Let's start with you, Ernest, and Project Breakaway. Now, some time ago you came on for a very short time. Rise had a program, exactly, and you collaborated with them on that project. Let's talk a little about Project Breakaway. What really is Project Breakaway?
All right. Project Breakaway is an arm of Risen FM that is dedicated to the promotion of health, fitness, and charity through cycling, through the sport of cycling. Mm-hmm. What Project Breakaway does is to highlight a charity or target a charity, organize a ride around that charity, and whatever proceeds come of the ride, we donate it to the charity. Mm-hmm. Our first Project Breakaway charity ride was held on the 11th of December last year, and the beneficiary for that ride was the Faustin home of Soufriere. And so that is what Project Breakaway is about, the promotion of health, fitness, and charity through cycling. One may also ask why Project Breakaway? In cycling, a breakaway is really a group of persons who take the lead. They detach themselves from the main peloton, the main group of riders, and they head out in the front of the group. This is usually seen as a strategy to win or an ambition to win. When we look at it in terms of Project Breakaway, we see the means of us promoting health and fitness through cycling as both a strategy to get, we're talking about nationalistic activities here, to get St. Lucia on the road to health through cycling, to get people fit through cycling, and to support charity through cycling. So it's a charity in that sense. It's a strategy in that sense. And it's an ambition that we have to actually achieve these goals of charity and health and fitness through cycling.
Let me bring Leslie in right now. Leslie, you're the treasurer of the St. Lucia Cycling Association, and I'm sure that the association would have welcomed Project Breakaway and also what Project Breakaway is trying to do. Tell me a bit about that partnership between the association and Project Breakaway.
Well, Project Breakaway is the field of the association. We haven't cemented the link in terms of formal recognition yet, because the association, as we know, is the governing body for cycling on St. Lucia. We had to form a club to link with the association, but myself and about two other executive members of the association ride with Project Breakaway. So there's a close link between us and that group of cyclists, and it brings greater visibility to cycling, so we all for that. Anything that develops cycling in St. Lucia, we will back it 100%, and that Project Breakaway group is certainly doing that, and we are behind it 100%.
And what are you waiting for to have formal links with Project Breakaway?
It needs to set up an executive and have a set of bylaws and memorandum of understanding. Then it can become recognized by the association as a cycling club.
Okay. All right. So I must.
Yes. So what are you waiting for? What is Project Breakaway waiting for?
Project Breakaway is more of a movement, a cycling movement, than a cycling club per se. So that is the little technicality there, because it is a kind of organization that encompasses all of cycling and all levels of cycling. As a matter of fact, for Project Breakaway, there are 4 levels of membership that one can have. There's a core member who is a regular rider with the group. So on a Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, you can see a group of riders riding along the streets and so on. They form the core membership. They're the regular riders. You have associate members. Those are people who ride a bike, and when we're having our charity events, they want to come along and join the thing. As a matter of fact, in December, we had over 50 cyclists taking part in that event. So anybody can come in, anybody who rides a bike.
And who has a helmet.
You must have a helmet, of course.
I remember that one.
Important.
Yeah.
That's right. And there's the third category of membership, which is the support member. Those are non-riding people who just want to do something for charity, for health, for fitness, even if it's coming to a ride and giving water, passing out water or something like that, sticking numbers on folks and so on. And then there's the corporate membership. So we have corporate partners who would come in and support the charity work of Project Breakaway. So 4 levels of membership. So it's more of a movement, similar to that of, let's say, the Live Strong Foundation, founded by Lance Armstrong of the US.
Right.
So it's not a club per se, it's a foundation, a movement that uses cycling for the support of health, fitness, and charity.
Now, how long ago did you start with that project?
The Project Breakaway started last year around October or so.
Okay, and your first charity event
was in December.
Quick, very quick
correct.
turnaround, and you were able to realize 50 riders.
That is correct.
For that event. That's amazing. We'll come back to you on the promotions that you did to get so many people out on this first riding program activity that you had. But Leslie, let's talk a bit about the St. Lucia Cycling Association, apart from Project Breakaway. People like me, who have been around a little while, got used to seeing the cycling around the city circuit every Independence. And we're heading towards Independence. We were just 2 weeks off.
Right.
What are the plans of the association for Independence?
This year, we are proudly hosting the 2012 JQ Charles Group of Companies Independent Cycling Classic. This is the 3rd year that, let me just say thanks to JQ Charles Group. They have assisted us tremendously over the past 3 years, and this is the 3rd event of its nature in the city circuit, where they are the main and now the title sponsor. We used to have cycling in the city circuit 80s, 90s, and we saw a certain downturn in the fortune of that sport, but we're trying to bring it back, and again, thank JQ Charles Group. This year we put an event on again in the city circuit, February 22nd from 1 p.m. until about 6 p.m. This year we're going to have basically a developmental focus, where we have invited riders from BMX and mountain bikes as well. If you notice, over the past years we only had road bikes racing in the city circuit, but now we're trying to broaden the appeal of cycling and the range and the reach of the sport to encompass younger riders, BMX riders and mountain bikers as well. So to accomplish this, we've gone out to the schools. We've reached out to a number of schools on the Carthage Basin and beyond to encourage riders to come and participate in the event. We want to see as many people as possible come out to ride and to support the young riders. Because we all know, I mean, athletics and sporting life in general, the sporting life of persons is a limited lifespan. So we need to always feed the developmental aspect of the sport. So we're trying to encourage more young persons to ride the bicycle, be interested in cycling, and of course take it up. Who knows, it might end up being a professional venture, because we all know in these days we don't always hope to get a job and be a doctor, or we can be professional athletes as well. And we're trying to develop that and start a movement in St. Lucia of cycling. Well,
right now we're seeing a resurgence of cycling. Cycling had died out for a great part, over the last few years, and it's only now. But why was that allowed to happen? As you were talking about the developmental aspect of it, is it because there was no developmental measures put in place in the association to feed?
I think there were a number of issues. That may be one of them. I think our focus was a bit narrow on road cycling, and the specific issue with that would be that in terms of road cycling, the only place you have to practice that is on the roads, and that in itself is sometimes very dangerous. So in terms of youth participation, parents may not be so keen to have their children practicing a sport that takes them into traffic on the roads. So you didn't get that feed through of younger cyclists coming through. But now we trying to encourage that by encouraging group rides with groups such as Project Breakaway, where you have more visibility for cyclists. And we're also trying to focus on other cycling disciplines, the BMX and the mountain bike, that not necessarily has to be on the road. So yeah, we're trying to focus on that as well. And the other issue was sometimes, of course, corporate support, sponsorship. And that's why we are very thankful to Jake Richards Group for the past 3 years have been sponsoring us to put on this event, and we hope to put on many more with their assistance.
Talking about, you know, changing the scope, Project Breakaway, I often see you guys on a Sunday morning when I try to go and take my exercise on the SAB, you know, riding or just congregating outside that auto place there. Are you only focused on street bikes or street riding, or do you have a broader focus to include the mountain bikes, as you were saying, the BMX bikes and that kind of thing? Right.
Our focus at Project Breakaway is to include every type of cyclist and cycling. So persons who, I mean, you look at St. Lucia and you realize that almost everybody can ride a bike, and it is a form of clean, healthful activity, if you want to put it that way, and persons can get involved no matter what kind of cycle you ride. And we invite male, female, young, old. Some of the members of the group are quite senior, if we can use such a term, and they are on the roads with us and doing a great job of keeping healthy and keeping fit. So Project Breakaway is for every type and every level of cyclists, especially if you're an associate member and you're getting involved in the rides that we organize.
How many people do you have involved in your movement at the present?
The core membership right now is about 25 persons. So at any given time we can have as many as 25. On a regular basis we would see about 15 to 20 riders on our weekly routines. Yes, but on a Sunday, let's say, you may find as many as 25 riders. Those are the regulars, the core membership.
In terms of being part of Project Breakaway, how do you become a part of that movement?
Well, for now, what we are doing is tapping into the person-to-person kind of contact. Before now, like you were mentioning before, in terms of development, we would have seen a little lull, and what happened in the meantime is that cyclists would do their own thing. You would see them on the streets pedaling, you know, casually, or not having a structure that they can fall into. What we do is we contact persons personally and invite them to Project Breakaway, and by media such as this, we are going to embark on a media campaign that would get persons involved in Project Breakaway.
Wonderful. You're watching Newsmaker Live on St. Lucia's news leader, DBS. Of course, I'm Clinton Reynolds, and with us this evening, Ernest Otley, the coordinator of Project Breakaway, and Leslie Serrier, he is the treasurer of the St. Lucia Cycling Association. When we come back, we'll discuss more of that cycling event that's taking place on the 22nd of February. That is Independence Day. And we'll talk a little bit more about Project Breakaway and what it hopes to achieve. So stay with us. Newsmaker Live will continue right after this.